the inflation data is more or less in line, and the trade data is stronger than expected. But we do think in the next, say, 1 week or so, we will get a set of very weak activity data, retail sales, industrial production, and so on. So August has been heavily hit by the COVID outbreak, and we already started to see some high-frequency data like power generation in August turning negative, as well as auto sales very, very weak. So I would say we probably will get data showing different signs in the next 10 days.
What gives you the confidence that the data on the activity indicators, retail sales particularly, would be weaker? Because that was the expectation actually going into the trade balance numbers as well, which then surprised on the positive. Now, I know there was the angle of front loading, which cushioned the numbers, but on retail sales and industrial production, do you not see that there could be an element of surprise?
Yeah, so trade data has always been volatile, so it's very hard to forecast what's going to happen in each month. And I think part of the strong trade data is because the Southeast Asia, particularly Vietnam, got hit by COVID, and some of the orders shifted into China, so that helped. But on the retail sales and the IP industrial production data, we have pretty good sense in terms of the components like auto, like power, these kind of high frequency data that get released before the official retail sales data. So it looks like August will be a pretty weak month. And I'm not just saying August. I think the next few months we probably will get micro data slowing down. I think that there's a trend there.
And Zhiwei, you mentioned the fact that COVID and the resurgence and also China's zero tolerance policy towards COVID cases is definitely a supply chain risk for the entire globe. But at the same time, because of this zero tolerance policy, is it putting the Chinese economy at a competitive disadvantage to other economies around the world which are gradually opening up and just learning to live with the virus?
Yeah, so this is really a big puzzle for us, how to resolve this problem going into next year. I mean, I think China can continue to keep this zero tolerance policy for a few months, but we are looking at there's a likelihood, there's quite likely, I would say, that China will keep this policy all the way into next year, even into the end of next year, because politically next year is a big year. The ruling party has its leadership reshuffling. So we could have China continue to shut its doors for international travel well into next year, where the rest of the world normalized travel. I think that will hurt investment, particularly FDI, that multinational companies cannot send their senior managers to China. That kind of things could really hurt. So how this will be resolved, how this can be sustainable, I don't have the answer, but that's a big question for investors.